Good evening, everyone. Peace and blessings to you. My name is Reverend Leah Alvarado. I'm with New Thought Northern Colorado Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome to the season for nonviolence. Every day we come together for a total of 64 days to practice a new principle of peace and nonviolence based on the work of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King. So glad that you've joined me today. Today is day 59, and our topic is taking action. Martin Luther King said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step." Rather than wait for someone else to make the first move, we can take even a small step to create the change that we desire. Change requires action. For some, participating on the front lines is what they're called to do, whether that means joining a protest, calling or writing to an elected official, or speaking up at a rally. For others, it's the last thing they want to do. Some are more comfortable sitting in prayer, praying for a specific outcome. Each of us has to decide what is ours to do. No one can determine that for us, and one is not better than the other. We're in a challenging time as a nation and as a planet. It's easy to feel as though we aren't doing enough, but we can't allow the chatter inside our head to make us feel guilty or shame us that we're not doing more. To avoid feeling overwhelmed and paralyzed by the needs we see in the world, it's important that we take time to go within and ask the question, what is mine to do? We'll be guided to do what is for our highest and best good, and what is for the highest and best good of all. It's a decision that needs to come from our heart, not from our intellect. No one can decide what action is best for us. Our heart will guide us to the best action that is needed, and one that aligns with who we are. So our first question today is about compassion fatigue. I laugh. It's not really funny. I don't mean to laugh about that. I'm simply recognizing within myself that it can be a reality, has been a reality at times. And I suppose it's true for all of us if we're in a place of serving others, and we have the heart to serve, and we want to serve, and we want to be that compassionate hearted being in the world. And yet compassion fatigue is real. The nurses, the doctors, all of those taking care of COVID patients and those who are dying absolutely have compassion fatigue. It is a real thing. So the first question, without becoming compassion fatigued, how do you work effectively for change? How do you, when you think about the changes that you want to make in your community, in the state of Colorado, in our nation, in the world, how can you work effectively for change without becoming compassion fatigued? Is it possible? Is it possible to do that? And I suspect we all just need to slow down and become more aware of when we're hitting our limit. Because every single one of us, we reach a point where, okay, I need to stop. I need to take a break. For some, those who are on the front lines, the essential workers, the nurses, the caregivers, they don't really have the option to take a break, do they? But many of us do. We can choose to take action and then pull back when we recognize within ourselves that compassion fatigue is starting to seep in. So I'm curious if any of you have experienced this, what compassion fatigue feels like, and how do you know when to stop? And the next question, what actions or action are you willing to take to benefit the common good? And some of you may not know right now, because as I was saying in the message, you need to tune in and ask, what is for the highest and best good for myself and for all? What is mine to do? And so it may not be clear right now. But for some of you, you've been thinking about this, the actions that maybe you want to take post-pandemic, or actions that you want to take right now. Some of you want to be right on those front lines and dive into it and take action, and others want to do it in a different way. And so I'm curious where you're at with this. If anybody has any comments, I'd love to see them in the chat. Let's look at our affirmative practice today, and let's say this together. Today, I listen within to clarify what is mine to do. I make a conscious choice about the best way for me to respond and what action I should take that aligns with my heart. This is the path to nonviolence. Whatever action we take, it's important that it aligns with who we are, that it aligns with our heart. There are people right now that would say that prayer is not enough, that simply by sending our loving energy and healing energy with intention to events that have taken place on our planet is not enough, that it's passive. Love is the most extraordinary and highest frequency that exists, because it is an emanation of God. It is an energy, it's a force of the divine. And when we are tapped in and tuned into that, and that is what we are sharing, it can make an enormous difference. And so those of us who choose to take that kind of action and hear from others who say to us, that's not enough, you need to take more action. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to hear those reactions and then question our approach. So I just invite you to tune into your heart and to know within yourself, to know that you are being guided to the action that is appropriate for you. And trust and know that it is absolutely perfect for you. Asking the question in your meditation, what is mine to do? What is mine to do? That's all you have to ask. And you may not get an answer right away, but in time you will. The answer will come. And then follow that. And that's the action. And know and trust that whatever action you take is absolutely perfect to support a particular event that is taking place, events from the past, the energy as a whole within our communities, within our families, within the world. Trust and know that it is perfect. So let's just take a moment and go within. And let's ask that question. What is mine to do? As you think about all that is going on in our world, the hate crimes that have taken place recently, the hate towards our Asian Americans right now. Perhaps you feel called to make an impact there. Perhaps you feel called to take some action related to gun violence in our country, related to Black Lives Matter, related to economic or racial injustices, oppression. So just ask the question, what is mine to do? So I'm just going to be quiet for a few moments. Let's just move into the silence and see what comes. Trust what comes. And so let's just take a deep breath. Breathing into our heart and knowing and trusting that our heart is guiding us. Our heart is guiding us in this life, on this earthly walk that all of us are taking, guiding us to what is for our highest and best good, what actions to take that will support us and support those around us. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow night is day 60, and our topic is receiving criticism. Hope to have you join me again tomorrow night. I wish you a blessed evening and know that you are loved. Namaste.